and take off. You must do it. You must account for it. So yes, we need to pay attention to that. Yeah, but you see, the SMEs, I fear for them in two things. One, many of the SMEs have not come to that realization that COVID is not a normal scenario. So, take for instance, there's some produce that they sell for about 500 naira per kilo. I don't want to mention names now because I know people just rush into it when they hear the figures.
It's selling,
yeah. So they sell for 500 naira per kilo and they do like 200% margins. 200, and I say 200, I mean 200 and above percent margins. However, you can't access the market now. You can't access the produce now. So you should know that you should drop price. So if they offer you a pricing that gives you 50% margin, you should take it. If not, the crops will go bad. But I'm seeing SMEs still, they know that the prices has gone high, but the logistics is not there. You can't move it.
Yeah, people can't even access the market.
And even people can access the market. Yeah. So what you should be thinking of is, I need to break even or make little profit, as against losing everything because it's perishable. But you still have many of them holding onto it. Like we reached out to a couple of them who wanted to sell some produce to us, and we said, hey, the market now, you have to go knocking on people's doors. They want it, but they cannot access it. So it's extra logistics. Can you cut down the price so that you don't make a loss and you're still doing 50%, and everybody is still looking at making their 200%
in this,
and so right now some of them are now under pressure to sell.
Should they or should they not?
No, they are even under pressure, and we're saying no. Face it, lose the money
and learn
the hard way. And it's alarming how it's across board, and that's what I fear for them, because they will lose the money, and they don't. Many of the guys doing this job, they don't know any politician. They're not politically inclined. They are a bit edgy, which is good. They don't go begging, but you need to understand the times in which we are. And also the main challenge now, I was in Mile 12 2 days ago, Saturday. I was there practically all through today. Talking to the transporters. I did that on last week. I didn't want to mention names last week, but it's gotten to a point that I have to mention names today. The police. It's a huge challenge now.
I already knew you were talking about that.
Yes,
last week.
The police is alarming. But I had a brainwave today because I said I would go out and check and find out, investigate. And so the prices, so they collect, before they will collect 200 naira from the transporters. Now it's 500 naira when you have the load. When you're returning and you don't have the load, with all the COVID stickers and co, when you're going back and you don't have the load, it's between 8 to 15,000 naira. So last week there was watermelon was scanty in Mile 12, primarily because the northerners said enough is enough. So the transporter stopped coming. I was with one driver today, and he told me that before it would take 20,000 moving from Oyo town to Lagos, and he will buy fuel going back and still settle all the way. He said, but the trip yesterday, going back this morning, he cannot even buy fuel.
That's how bad it's gotten.
Yeah. And so many of the drivers now are saying they're not coming, even from the north. And so today now, the tomatoes we bought at 8,000 on Saturday is 13,000 today.
Because of the police.
Because of the police. So I was really upset. But I said, okay, let me talk to police. So I went to town and I began to pick them up to say, oh, can I give you a ride? So I gave them some ride, and I asked, hey, how is your family? They said, a family deal. So I had conversations with them, and some of them that were deployed to some states, that they had not paid those people there 6 months. Some of them are not paid. And I'm like, okay, so are we equipping me with a gun? And we say that at checkpoints, you should not ask for money. So on the flip side, I'm like, okay. He has a wife, he has children, and everybody is storing food home. and even their take home is not taking them home anyway before. So and so when I spoke with a couple of them, I was like, oh my goodness, there are two sides to this coin. So the farmers and the final consumers are the receiving end now, because the farmers will pay extra
And the consumers will pay more.
yeah. So I know somebody who wants to move some produce from 50,000 to 70. They're saying 130,000, or we are not coming. And if the farmer does not move it, the produce will go bad. So so I said, okay, can we get the police from IG to say, okay, everybody on the road, on this roadblock, we've paid you, we've sorted you, so this is a number to call, when you are involved in that, and it's getting alarming. So pandemic is there, people don't even have the income, many salaries will be cut, and yet the prices of food is going higher, not as a result of scarcity or climate change or bad weather. It's as a result of inefficiency in the system. Who pays for it? You.
You and I.
No, you.
Okay, me.
Me. I'm exempted. I'll still get those.
You are indeed.
But our farm produce will have issues when we're trying to move it out. Because when you're not trying to sell at a higher price and the final consumers can't pay the price, it affects margin. And many farmers would rather not go and produce.
For that reason.
So SMEs, we need to come together to raise a voice, to raise a campaign, to say, protect farmers, or save farmers. Maybe hashtag save farmers or hashtag protect farmers. And we get the conversation going. So federal and states, no matter the effort they are putting in, when people have not eaten,
it's wasted effort.
People will be almost everybody is locking gates to their main entrances, to the main streets now, because they are scared of attacks, of people who are hungry. So yes, there's no food. Now the prices are going higher. So we need to come together. And also, if we have to begin to, do CSR to the families of the police in barracks, let's do it. But we need to also show love. Somehow. We need to show love.
Yeah.
Because if we don't show love, if we don't sort it, so they may not be on the street begging, but they need support. So we need, as SMEs, to step in. And it's going to affect the prices of everything. As they are moving chemicals to the farmers to sell to them, and the prices is going high. And also, SMEs post-COVID, we need to work as a chain. We need to work as cooperatives, where 3, 4, 5 of us doing different things, but in the value chain, like poultry farmer, someone selling feed, logistics. We need to work together like a consortium where we push things together. If 5 poultry farms don't get to work together to move their farm produce together, they would lose a lot. Government will want to say SMEs, but when you have some corrupt workers, SMEs will pay for it. When I mean government, I mean presidency, governors, they mean well, but they have to walk through some people. So, and not everybody is thinking like them. So SMEs need to come together and work as a group. Who speaks? So you have the rural farmer, they have a voice. CBN and everything speaks to those smallholder farmers. Now, when you come to the small scale and the medium scale, there's no voice there. So in Nigeria, you have a voice for the commercial. They can walk up to the banks. They can walk up to anywhere themselves. The smallholder farmers, they have cooperatives. But the young graduates, who speaks for them?
Yeah.
They're not together. Okay, maybe I need to put it together.
Yeah.
But bottom line is that, unfortunately, the education at that level also is too high. In terms of, I'm exposed, I'm a graduate, this is how I want to do it, and that's what you find a lot happening there. So they're not speaking the same language, and that's their undoing post-COVID, because there's no voice. You can shout alone, but when you want to kill a fly with a strand of broom, it can happen. But when you hold that bunch, you get the job done. So we need people in this period. We need SMEs to come in to say, let us also give. Let's give as against also just wanting to receive, because until we begin to give,
they also need to come together to speak to the police. Let's start from there and get things going, and then post-COVID we can then look at how to.
So as simple as I know many listeners now may want to support. So maybe my guys, my colleagues should just say hashtag save Nigerian farmers or save farmers, so that we get it
out there. Yeah.
But if this is still during COVID, the cases are increasing, so we don't know if they're going to extend the lockdown, which is likely. And as they increase the lockdown, we're moving to periods where basic staples would be scarce. We're moving to May, June. And so if we don't have it, and the electricity supply has increased, but really...
Clearly, right?
Yeah, it has increased. However, we're not having the rainfall like we should. So Southwest farmers are the ones that cushion this. And they're not having rainfall now. So automatically, there's a clear and present danger in May, June, especially June and June, July. So we need people to go to the farm now, but we need to remove these roadblocks of police on the road.
Wow. We have to go to the phone lines now and listen to the callers. If you have also experienced any hiccups so far from the farm or transporting your goods or having your goods out there in the market, please call the phone lines to let us know. And also, if you have any contribution to also support what African Farmer is saying, if you have a brilliant idea on how to go about all of this, to also identify the young graduates in the agribusiness or trying to get into the agribusiness, to also have a union where they have one voice to speak for them, do join the conversation. The phone lines are 0809 191 3913, 0809 222 0913. Of course, you can also call 0809 234 5913. Lagos Talks, good evening. Good evening. Join the conversation. African Farmer. African Farmer. Yes, please. What's... Larry, go ahead.
Please. Hashtag
pay the police.
Pay the police. Yeah. That's a good one. That's a good one. Hashtag. Thank you, Larry.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Lagos Talks.
Hello?
Yes, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Michelle.
Yes. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Jide. I'm calling from Ijai, Lagos.
All right, Jide. African Farmer is listening. Go ahead.
African Farmer, good evening.
Good evening.
It is your very good friend, the one that chases you up and down.
Eh.
The one you gave 2 tickets to in January.
Oh, okay. I wanted to say my grass cutter that you are chasing me around.
The last time I saw you was at the EcoBank Agribusiness Forum.
Yeah.
You see, African Farmer, there's something happening right now at Okiaru.
Okay.
The big farm. You see, there's an invasion of swine flu and a lot of...
Wow.
Not so far. Nobody has addressed that issue as of now.
Swine flu.
Really ravaging that farm.
African swine flu.
Swine flu.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
So I spoke with a friend of mine this evening. Said in the last 1 week he has lost over 50 pigs.
Wow. 50 pigs.
And that nobody's even talking about it.
African swine fever. Because there's no solution.
If you can help us sensitize the government to what is happening at Okiaru.
Okay. I will definitely... I will talk after the program.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Jide. Lagos Talks.
Good evening
to you.
I just want to ask African Farmer, can we expect overwhelming, interest in agriculture after COVID-19 or post-COVID-19, whereby, because the way I look at it, in anticipation, many industries might not come so early to take over the economy of manufacturing if people going into agriculture overwhelmingly after COVID-19?
Yeah, so we would have many people rush into agriculture. You would hear it's zeal without knowledge. Many will go in with zeal, but without knowledge, and many of them would have issues. It's inevitable. But many people will go in, but it doesn't mean it will be sustainable. I actually envisage a glut along the line because many people, especially with tomatoes at some point in time, you have a lot of tomatoes, cucumbers, those basic vegetables having challenges. But we're preparing for them in terms of creating markets for them.
Okay.
So we're creating different platforms, but if they are willing to drop the price to break even, learn and move on, fantastic. It will be a win-win for everybody.
And if they're not,
And if they are not, they learn through pain,
okay.
and which will be gained later.
All right. I think we should take this last call before we go. Lagos Talks, hello.
Hello, Africanfarmer.
Yes, good evening.
Yeah, this is Solomon Farmer from Kiki Farm.
Okay, Kiki Farms, how are you?
I'm doing very well, sir. I'm really following up on this program and it's really knowledge driven.
Thank you.
So one of the issues we are having at Kiki Farm is basically this logistics of the thing, because we are trying to understand our customers. We have orders and force deliver them to customers in Nigeria. They are always complaining of roadblocks.
Okay.
Increase in terms of delivery. So we just have our product at home and we can't move it on time to customers.
Okay.
This is because they can't pay that huge amount of delivery companies that charge them.
All right.
Okay.
So that's the problem for us currently.
Okay, so we're doing aggregation now. We've gotten a few bosses. We've spoken to some people in the ministry, and we want to see how we can begin to aggregate people. So let us know, contact a few people around you who may want to move produce, and we can send some buses there to, aggregate and move to those areas. That's why I say SMEs can't do it alone. We have to come together to do it. But please call the 0809 7222, 0809 7222, or reach out to us at any of the social media handles, at AgricbusinessNG, at AgricbusinessNG, or on my personal handle at Africanfarmer M, 0809 7222. You don't have to lose money in this season. There's a demand for your produce.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Kiki Farms, all the best to you. Sorry, we have to go.
Yeah, we have to go.
Africanfarmer today has been highly enlightening, really interesting, and we might just put this up on our website for people to listen in and actually key in, contact you, and find ways that they can mobilize themselves to have that one voice as farmers, especially the educated ones as well. Thank you so much. I'd like you to go through ways they can reach you one more time. Again.
0809 7222, 0809 7222, at Africanfarmer M, or at AgricbusinessNG.
Thank you so much. Thank you for coming by today. Coming up next is the unexpected. Okay, Bakassi. On It's Okay.
We
Don't care. Don't go anywhere.
Okay.
I said go my able now. I said go call you, make you supply me honey. I don't think has finished my whole honey.
Finish that fast.